Hello, everyone, and welcome to my presentation today. I am Carly Kroll, the Marketing Director of Americas at OverIT, and I'll be sharing my insights around how knowledge management, particularly hands-free knowledge management for capturing, enhancing, and distributing expertise in a user-friendly and intuitive process, is helping the workforce. And before we get started, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a former academic, professor, and researcher who focused on augmented reality and its effects on utility workers. Additionally, I'm very passionate about technology acceptance and adoption around augmented reality and understanding how this technology is affecting frontline workers. So when I share with you the benefits and the use cases today around knowledge management and hands-free wearables, I want you to know that I really believe in it and the power that it has for improving the lives of frontline workers. So let's get started. First, I want to talk about the learning objectives. And as a former educator, I always get excited when we get to talk about learning objectives. So first, I really want you to understand what knowledge management is, why it should be used, and then how it enhances the work when it's available hands-free in particularly, as well as the benefits. While I gave you a little bit about why you should listen to me, I would be remiss if I didn't mention my employer. So bear with me for just a moment as I give you a quick overview of who we are. So OverIT has been in the field service management industry for 20 years. Some quick stats on us is that we have two products, GeoCall and SpaceOne. And while I won't get into those too much today, I do want to point out that they are used for wearables in a hands-free way and utilize augmented reality, artificial intelligence, and can be used for anything from scheduling optimization to digital work instructions. Currently, these solutions are being used with over 150 technicians around the globe, and we help the whole life cycle of field service. And so I'd like to share some more with you as we move on. And finally, about OverIT, we are recognized by analysts as innovative and visionary. We are honored to have these titles and look forward to proving it not only to them, but to you, the audience. So now on to our topic today of knowledge management. So what is knowledge management? When I say knowledge management, what I'm thinking of is the handling of information. So whether that is data that's gathered through a certain process with pictures, videos, a set of tasks that were documented of a person going through a process, virtual checklists, all of these are different assets in knowledge. And what the management is being able to organize all of that information, to share it and maintain that knowledge in an easy to access way. So why would you want to use this? And while it could be simple in your mind, I just want to make sure I break down what we're thinking about and what we focus on. So we focus on the enterprise use of knowledge management. It can be used in any industry, but in particularly industries like energy and utility, oil and gas, manufacturing, we're seeing a mass exodus of the workforce due to retirement. We have a huge generation that's either already retired or nearing retirement. And with that is the loss of collective and tribal knowledge. And so how do we keep that knowledge that they have within the organization even after they leave? And how do we transfer it to those who are being trained up into the roles? So any of the new folks joining the organization. We need to transfer the knowledge from either experts to novices or in between workers that may be working at different sites or locations. So the remote element of people working in different sites. Whether it was, due to COVID or not, I think remote work is here to stay. And also in field work, you're almost always remote. You're outside, you're working on different assets. You're climbing a pole to work on electric wires. You are remote. You're not together in an office. And so being able to share knowledge over distance is important. And also safety. Safety for anything should be a very big focus. And so how can we ensure that different safety processes are followed, that hazards are detected or made aware to different workers? And so finding different ways to share knowledge to improve safety is another aspect of why you should use knowledge management. And so there are different solutions out there that utilize knowledge management in a hands-free way. And today, because I'm much more familiar with the products at OverIT, the use cases I'm going to share are going to be involving that particular product. But please know that this is a technology that you could maybe imagine being used in other settings as well. And so really there is an end-to-end life cycle for frontline workers, which I mentioned at the beginning, the onboarding, right, the training, the on-site, so maybe that's the maintenance of different things, doing your tasks, and then the ongoing, which is really the capturing of that knowledge that we talked about that they did from the training or the on-site, whether it's recording the process of them carrying out a task and saving it for future training purposes or reference purposes, or being able to document pictures or data. And so I'm going to break that down a little more on this next slide. Here we could see that there's the capturing of expertise, the enhancing of expertise, and the distributing of expertise. And I know that this is a lot to take in, so don't worry, we'll walk through it a bit more with some use cases that'll help illustrate what this means. We'll also get to watch a short video that will really help bring it to life and explain more of what we just learned. So starting on the capturing expertise, that's what I talked about in terms of taking pictures and videos or documenting things in a virtual way, whether that's voice to text notes or just from going through different workflows and that information is being stored. So it's being captured. Then it can be enhanced through knowledge management tools. What I mean by that is all the data that just came in, it needs to be sorted. It needs to be tagged. It needs to be put into kind of boxes and files so that we can properly use it and access it when we need to. And so content tagging with artificial intelligence is a really cool feature that's now out there, where the artificial intelligence can actually look at an image or watch a video. It can add subtitles and identify keywords to help tag a video. It can identify actual physical things in the picture. For example, if there was an asset that caught fire, like an electric utility box, and it will identify this as fire damage. And so there are suggested tags, but then you can also add your own and to optimize whatever way is best for retrieving that and indexing that information and distributing it. So now we've captured it, we've organized it correctly and enhanced it, and now we need to distribute it. And so that can happen in real time. It's almost as if you have this digital folder that can follow you wherever you go when you're using a wearable, and you can recall that information in real time, accessing it by calling out tags, and it'll pull up different options of videos, schematics, documents that you can reference to help you carry out your tasks. But it's really there to help you continue to improve your processes and improve that safety and enhance efficiency of the workforce. So one use case I want to call out is Zamperla. And Zamperla is the world's leading company for creating rides and attractions for amusement parks. And so the actual physical building of the amusement parks and the maintenance on those rides is done by Zamperla. And how they are using knowledge management comes in the different areas we talked about, right? They are collecting information through doing video recordings and of processes that they can refer to later for training or for quality assurance checks. They create tutorial videos. I like to think of them as like a YouTube tutorial, like when I'm trying to change the oil in my car and I can't remember how to do it. And then I watch a YouTube tutorial and it walks me step by step. But you have that accessible hands-free through, in this case, it's a RealWear HMT1, and they're able to have their hands on the equipment. They can be scaling the ride and doing the tasks they need to completely safely while referencing this material. They also can have different content like a schematic or diagram of a specific element of the ride. And so they're using knowledge management in a really interesting way, as well as what I'm sure many people will talk about during the events is the remote assistance piece. So the See What I See video calls where they can call an expert, get feedback in real time, and have an interactive, annotative experience. But through all of these, Zamperla is really taking advantage of innovative technology around knowledge management to equip their workers to do the best job that they can as safely as they can. Because it's not only about the safety of these workers, but everyone that's going to ride the rides. And so think about how important it is to properly document and follow all the steps when doing maintenance on roller coasters. Our next example is EWTS, which is a sub-company of Enel, and they operate in the electricity sector. And so they have, similar to Zamperla, they use different elements of knowledge management. They do audio and video streaming between the inspectors and testers or people on different sites. They share multimedia content for step-by-step work instructions, virtual checklists. And you may notice in the picture here is that they are actually using binocular wearables. And so this group has worked with the HoloLens, Epson, and ODG glasses to do their tasks. They prefer binocular over monocular, but both work in terms of knowledge management. And so they're able to really customize their experience with knowledge management to best fit their needs. And we're actually going to get to see this in action in the video that we watch right now.
The Enel Group has distribution companies all around the world, serving more than 73 million customers. Every year, Enel's group components and materials quality units carry out around 11,000 tests on materials and components necessary to manage distribution networks in more than 700 plants worldwide. Checks are performed on high and low voltage components, ranging from the traditional ones like cable, transformers and switches to the structural ones such as pylons and poles, to electronic next-generation devices to control and automate the network from remote, and last but not least, on personal protective equipment. To improve the level of control, it is necessary to increase both the number of possible interventions and to adopt new tools and technologies allowing a higher performance level. Higher quality means greater efficiency, less defects, and the right choice of suppliers. AR Quality Check is the OverIT solution developed on the SpaceOne virtual collaboration platform to perform inspection activities from remote using tablets and smart glasses. While making the most of the virtual collaboration and augmented reality potential through smart glasses, the application allows to perform checks from remote to exploit different skills, as well as to perform centralized control procedures on different types of materials, ensuring maximum compliance on the inspector's work. This can be done through operating instructions and dedicated documents which guide the user throughout the step-by-step execution of the testing stage. The supplier receives a test alert with a related QR code as to establish an audio-video connection between the inspector and the supplier while ensuring high safety standards. SpaceOne virtual collaboration allows the field resource and the inspector to exchange information in real time in an interactive mode through drawing, editing and sharing features, thus speeding up all operational phases. In this way, the remote inspector can then remotely track both the testing progress and the outcome of the different stages, as well as supervise more tests at the same time in order to optimize the waiting time between them. The tablet component gives the inspector full access to all testing phases at the supplier's premises, thus allowing them to work in offline mode as well. All information necessary to control activities, including multimedia contents and documents, can be accessed and retrieved on the tablet at any time. Enhanced monitoring of suppliers and quality of supplies, digitalization of field processes, increase in the efficiency of the whole control process, remote training and knowledge sharing. AR Quality Check. Virtual collaboration takes your business wherever you are.
So in that video, we got to see some real benefits that Enel is finding through their virtual quality checks and their hands-free knowledge management. On this slide, we can see some of the numbers, but really they're reducing travel significantly. They're saving time for their workers, and they're improving the quality as well. That's really some impressive ROI. And so I think in that video, you were really able to understand how there are different elements of knowledge management that's available, from the document sharing to the virtual calls, the virtual checklists. They were able to do all those different processes, and you can kind of see it in action. And so we covered a lot in our short time together today. We talked about how you're going to improve the training practices through onboarding with knowledge management. You're saving time in terms of document retrieval. Workers are able to recall information so much quicker than having to go through paper manual or try to look up, in their files on their computer. They're able to do this all hands-free. They also are increasing their first-time fix rate. And so I didn't talk about this too much, but the idea that whether it's Zamperla or it's Enel, they're able to fix an asset much quicker because they have all of the tools and information they need right at their fingertips. And so they can fix it much quicker right away, and they don't need to have a second visit necessarily, which saves that time, travel, and costs. And through all of this, they are enhancing the safety through accessible information. So whether someone is scaling equipment or they're rappelling down into a utility tunnel, they are able to safely do their job hands-free while having the assistance of information right in front of their eyes when they need it, while being spatially aware. As all of us know, with wearables, that's something that's very important. And so through enhancing your workforce with wearables, you are really augmenting their skills, keeping your humans in the workforce, and when necessary, competing with their machine counterparts in the industry. And so knowledge management really is the answer for enterprises as we face an unprecedented worker shortage, a retiring workforce, and the challenges of remote work. And finally, I wanted to just leave you with a few logos here. This is a sample of some of our customers currently using knowledge management with our solution Space One today across all different types of industry verticals, as you can see here. Well, thank you everyone for joining me today as we talked about the importance of knowledge management and how it really helps the workforce. And so in a moment, we're going to have a Q&A session where I'll be able to answer any questions that you may have around our use cases, around the technology itself. And so thank you all again. Thank you, EWTS team, for having me. I'm Carly Kroll with OverIT. Feel free to email me. My contact information is on here. Visit our website or add me on LinkedIn and let's have a chat. Wishing you all a great rest of the event today. And now on to the questions.